Hello and welcome to The Ordeal. Hey, do me a favor, subscribe and share my videos. Ring the bell and leave a comment. It helps me with the YouTube algorithm, which seems to not like my content very much because I haven't gotten any traction on this channel. Today we're going to be looking at this article in The Independent, which claims that manspreading has crossed over to the realm of running and it's not okay. Taking up space in the world seems hardwired for men, but right now it reeks of selfishness, says Helen Coffey. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce her name. Cafe? I don't know. Well, no, I'm a man and taking up space is not hardwired into me. And manspreading is something that I've never done and is BS, and we'll talk about why. And most people don't do. Most people are considerate when they're sitting on a train or a bus, in my experience of, hey, we need to leave room for other people around us. There are some people who are rude, male and female, and all the other stupid-ass genders which people think exist, that do take up more space than they're supposed to. And we'll talk about some of that, too. Let's take a look and see what Helen has to say here. Mind you, I haven't read this, so I don't know what exactly it's going to be about. Something has been niggling at me during my mandated daily exercise under lockdown. Somebody's mandating you exercise? You need to do it. You need to do it more, okay? A little bit more. Look at the avatar. This avatar is not exactly an inaccurate representation of me. I think that I'm a little bit older than her. Actually, probably quite a bit older than her. But I've managed to maintain a reasonable physique throughout my adulthood because, hey, guess what? I actually put in the effort, unlike apparently some people. And it does take effort. You have to watch your diet. You have to exercise regularly. It's a realization that's crept up on me day by day. The same realization that the person who first coined the term manspreading must have experienced when it gradually hit them that men everywhere were taking up an inordinate amount of space on public transport. Yep, it's all men's fault. Everything that's wrong with the world, men did it. A global pandemic that's put the kibosh on using the tube and train for the majority of us should really have pressed pause on the phenomenon after all. Where is there to manspread now? Your kitchen table? Your own sofa? But then I started going running again and I realized the practice has not stopped at all, merely migrated. There's rude people everywhere. Some are men, some are women. It's just how some people behave. People are inconsiderate. I don't know why, and it's going to get worse as the population grows. The more people you have, the more you're going to run across inconsiderate people. That's just how it works. For those of us not blessed with a rural setting, outdoor exercise can feel like a minefield during quarantine. I can't embark on a 30-minute circular jog from my front door without crossing paths with at least 50 people. I live in London's Zone 1, and this seemingly is my punishment for not getting the hell out of Dodge when all my contemporaries started moving to the burbs several years ago. Yes, why would you live in a big city? I mean, seriously, I lived in LA for 3 years, and that wasn't even 3 years. It was almost 3 years. That was 3 years of freaking hell. It was. I learned my lesson real quick, and I moved out as soon as I had the opportunity. Forget living in the big city. It's terrible. And maybe don't do a 30-minute circular jog. I don't jog at all. I haven't run in years. My feet bother me. I have problems with my feet. I have to have surgery. I was going to have surgery on my right foot. Then, hey, guess what? COVID-19 happened. Yay! It taints the activity with an unwanted wash of anxiety. What if I get it? What if I already have it and am unknowingly passing it on? Then don't go outside and run. Stay inside. Wear your mask, wear your gloves, cover yourself up. You're probably not covered up. You're probably wearing shorts and a long sleeve jacket. Not that there's a short sleeve jacket. I'm sure you're wearing a jacket and shorts because, that's proper running attire because your legs are super hot, but your upper body is super cold. People, the way that they dress when they're exercising, I'll never understand. Guess what? When I do calisthenics in my house, I can wear whatever I want. I'm not around anybody. And hey, it's on my own schedule. I don't have to worry about, hey, the sun's up, so I want to do it now while the sun's up. I can do it in the middle of the night if I want to. And I do it for more than a half an hour. I can do it for as long as I want to, not worry about people bothering me. Even before the coronavirus outbreak, there was an unspoken code of conduct I instinctively followed when running, especially somewhere you don't run. You don't look like a person who's ever run. Maybe you run once a week to burn off a few extra calories. I'll give you that, maybe. I'm a former certified personal trainer. I used to be a certified personal trainer. Don't be a personal trainer. If you're thinking about, hey, I want to be a personal trainer, don't do it. Unless you like irregular schedules and dealing with people. Two things that don't mesh with me. Which you would think they would, since I'm really unorthodox about how I put out videos, right? Where was I? Unspoken code of conduct, right? I instinctively followed when running, especially somewhere with limited space like the canal path that forms part of my regular route. And innate considerateness took over. Pausing to let people pass on bikes. Why would you stop to let somebody pass on a bike? They're supposed to tell you where they're going. Saying thank you to those who pause to let me pass. Why can't you just go around them? Keeping to one side of the path. All these things came naturally. Yes, now in England, I believe they operate on the rule of the left. In the United States, we operate on the rule of the right, which is you stay on the right side. For some reason, here in California, people don't understand that rule. They use it as they see fit instead of using it all of the time. You don't stop for bikes, right? Bikes call out, "Hey, I'm on the left," or whatever, and then they go around you on the left. Now, if they can't go around you because there's traffic, then yes, you should stop for them. You should get out of the way because you don't want to get run over. But you don't stop for other people, unless it's absolutely necessary, right? Why would you just stop? Oh, look, this person is jogging faster than me. I'm going to stop so they can go in front of me. Why don't you just slow down, let them pass you, and then keep jogging so you don't have to stop? Why would you stop? This doesn't make any sense. This person doesn't understand exercising. Since lockdown started, this code has simply intensified. I attempt to make myself physically smaller. Well, that's going to be hard for you to do, obviously, judging by your picture. Squeezing into the very edge of the trail, refraining from breathing as I pass people. That's right, I literally stopped breathing. Some part of my brain took the decision to hold my breath when others cross my path, and I do it not consciously, but instinctively. Yes, people are rude, and you are more considerate, at least when you're jogging. When you're writing articles, you're very inconsiderate, apparently. I'm not saying this for a pat on the back or to raise awareness of what a great person I am, although it would be nice to get some recognition for a change. Where's my bloody medal? It's more just an observation about our natural behavior. I unconsciously adapted mine to fit the scenario in which social distancing was required, but difficult to observe. I wouldn't have even been aware of it had it not been for the discrepancy between my own response and that of others. And when I say others, I mean men. Of course you do, because men are all that's wrong with the universe. I run into this problem all the time, the rule of the right. I ran into it last time I rode my bike, which was a few days ago. I rode over to my accountant's office to pick up my tax return, pay her for the services. That's right. I don't discriminate on who I use for my services. She is a female non-white. I won't I won't disclose what race she is. It's not important. None of that's important. What's important is the person does a good job. But yeah, I stay on the right like I'm supposed to, except when I'm passing. And guess what happened? People got in my way. They were on the wrong side of the road. They even saw me coming, and instead of moving over to the left, like they're supposed, my left, their right, like they're supposed to. No, what they did was they moved even farther into my path, moving to the left, their left, my right. That's a really wise thing to do when I'm on a bike, and it's less easy for me to maneuver out of the way of something than it is for you. And guess who is doing most of it? Women. Yes, yes, I know. Hashtag not all men, but hashtag a considerable number of men. Yes, and a considerable number of women do the same thing. Okay? You want to talk about disrespectful behavior? I could base this entire YouTube channel that I have here for the next 50 years telling you stories about how I've been treated inconsiderately by women and still not even scratched the surface. And definitely hashtag not women. All the female joggers I pass seem to be doing the same unthinking contortions as me. Well, how come the women that I was passing weren't doing that? How come the women that I've had to come across in my life don't do that for me? I've been in situations where I was walking and there were a group of women walking towards me, taking up the entire path, and they refused to move over to let me pass. I would actually have to walk in the grass. I don't do that anymore, but this was when I was younger. No, if you wanna push me off the path, that's not gonna happen. I'm in the right. I have the right to be in this space. Guess who's gonna be moving over? We have more practice, I suppose, at making ourselves small and non-threatening and unnoticeable. We have form when it comes to bending over backwards to make everyone else in the room feel comfortable, often at the expense of our own comfort. Yeah, uh huh. Explain that to the women in my family who would never would never give an inch for anyone else. But it is striking how many men do the opposite. They choose to plant themselves instead in the middle of the path, arms and legs pumping. I stay on my side of the path, on the right side, unless I am passing. That's it. So I don't know what's going on with these men. I think this is in England. Yeah, it's in London, right? Maybe explain to Londoners that they're not supposed to do that. I don't know what to tell you. Like I say, I run into people on the wrong side of the path when I'm exercising outside all the time, men and women, doesn't matter. People will stop at an intersection, block the whole intersection to have a conversation with somebody they ran into instead of moving off to the side. I don't understand it, but that's what they do. Striding flat out. They make no allowances, no exceptions, seemingly unaware that the person they're approaching is doing a frantic parody of the Viennese waltz to try to adhere to the, under such circumstances, impossible 2 meter rule. It's no concern of theirs. They've picked their lane and they're going to stick to it. Thanks very much. Wide-legged stances. It's hard to run with a wide-legged stance, actually. What are you talking about? And an unwavering trajectory, as if following invisible tram lines. Send the clear message, this space is mine, I dominate, better give me some room, love. All others must leap out of the way, grateful for the small toehold they've been granted. Normally, this kind of behavior is amusing, bordering on preposterous, exasperating, sure, but more something to roll your eyes at and bitch about over coffee later. But now, it feels selfish, it feels scary, it feels borderline dangerous. It's because it is. This unawareness of people to stay in their lane is a problem. You would not believe the inordinate number of people I saw out the last time I rode my bike a few days ago. I haven't been going around riding my bike a lot during the outbreak. This was a rare occurrence. I had to go out, and so I took my bike to do it, to get some exercise. and I was shocked at how many people were out. It was crazy, and these people are just doing whatever they want to do, using the path in whatever way they want to, having their little tiny children learn how to skateboard on the wrong side of the path. And I come through there, and it's like, teach your kid to be on the right side, you know? Anyway, back to what we were reading here. Seems selfish, seems scary, borderline dangerous. As they pass the limbs moving like pistons, chugging forcefully out through the mouth like an unstoppable steam engine, I think about how I would feel if I lived with someone vulnerable or was vulnerable myself. You are. I think about the courage it would take to get outside and the fear I would experience every time I stepped out of my front door. I fear that I could catch the virus and take it home. And I think, then no, we wouldn't. Why would you go outside then? This is. And I think about the menace I would feel if a 6 foot sprinter was bearing down on me, making no concessions to social distancing, no effort to slow down his audible ch of exhalation, triggering a surge of panic as his spittle flew towards me through the air. Then wear a mask. He should be wearing a mask too. We're supposed to be wearing masks when we go outside. And again, I say hashtag not all men. But if women's contorting to fit as unconscious, to so too is men's ballooning to fill as much physical space as possible. No, it's not. Maybe all you need to do to change that dynamic is to become aware of how you're wired. Maybe all you need to do is acknowledge and fight that urge to expand. So if you are a man reading this, just think before you spread and make sure it's hashtag not you. Okay, so it's hashtag not me. And it's not men, it's just people. When I was a child, I had to ride the bus to school and back, so I got into the habit of sitting with my knees no wider than my shoulders. Like I said, the avatar is actually a pretty accurate representation of me. I've always had broad shoulders. Always had broad shoulders and a narrow waist. But people would still complain, "Oh, you're spreading your legs." Nope, they're inside my arm width. They're inside the width of my arms so they're inside the width of my shoulders. I'm not going to scrunch my shoulders together to make myself narrower so that you can fit in this space. I'm not a very big person as it is, shorter than average, but I have an athletic build just naturally. So this notion of manspreading is just something that is made up so that somebody has something to complain about because we've run out of things to complain about in the world. I was hoping that the pandemic would kind of change things and make people realize, you know what, there's important things that we need to focus on. We need to focus on making sure that we are prepared for such incidents in the future. Apparently, that's not true. So we talk a little bit more here about the problem of manspreading not being a problem. Men are top heavy. Men have broader shoulders than their hips. Now, this, of course, is not true for all men. But as I mentioned, it's true for me. I have broad shoulders. I've always had broad shoulders. So, just basic physics, you're more likely to tip over if you're top heavy when the vehicle you're on changes direction suddenly. That's just how it works. Men are not manspreading when they're on in a moving vehicle necessarily. They're just trying to keep their balance. And this has been pointed out to me. Not this actual way that this works, not the actual way that this works, but when I'm riding with somebody in their car and they go to take a turn, I'll grab onto the door handle or something, and every single time the person driving is like, "You don't need to do that. I'm not going to like drive crazy and stuff." It's not that you're driving crazy; it's just that I'm top heavy, and instead of spreading my legs, because I don't have a habit of spreading my legs wide to keep me from falling over, I just grab onto something. I said it many times in this video. There are rude people everywhere you go. People need to be considerate. They're just not. They refuse to be considerate. I don't know why. I don't understand it. I've never understood it. people can't think about other human beings. This is why my channel is called The Ordeal. My life has been a freaking ordeal dealing with other people. I brought this up in other videos many times about women complaining about, oh, I was treated better as a man. Men get it so much better. No, I don't. Okay? And the men that I know don't really have it that great most of the time. Most of them aren't like doing amazing just because they're a man. In fact, I would say it's quite the opposite. The women that I know do better than the men that I know in general. So get over yourself. I know you're trying to write an article because you got nothing else to talk about. You don't know how to exercise. I'm gonna, leave some links here to Pilates and yoga and maybe some calisthenics stuff for anybody who's interested in exercising while they're in lockdown. You don't need to go outside. You can stay home and do all that stuff. Thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing you next time.